Welcome back to The Takeout. If you watch this show each night, and if you do, thank you very much, odds are you know that we celebrate catchphrases and political jargon here. Lucky for us, a new book delves into the arcana of language, and it's so much more than words. Here's some of my conversation with best-selling author Ben Schott on his new book, Schott's Significa. Ben Schott cannot write an inelegant sentence. True?
Well, I mean, it's the London Times, and who am I to dispute the London Times?
I wouldn't if I were you. So the book, Schott's Significa, we should underscore, as I know you will, that's not a word.
No, it's not.
Significa. Schott's your last name, but Significa is not a word. But that's the point.
It's not in the OED.
Right. Oxford English
Sorry,
Dictionary.
Oxford English Dictionary, yes.
Thanks, everyone. Should it be?
Well, I'm hoping it might be now. I'm quoted
You've given
once.
it propulsive quality.
I'm quoted once in the Oxford English Dictionary. I mean, and my hero, P.G. Wodehouse, was quoted, I think, 1,600 times, and he has 26 first cited usage, and that's the key, to be the person who brings a new word in. So that would be an honor.
The point of this book and all of your work, previous ones, miscellanea. Miscellanea?
Yep, sure.
Significa means it's better.
Yes,
right?
of course.
You've moved up.
I have. It's larger, heavier.
Right, it's larger,
better.
heavier, it's more fulsome.
Yeah.
Is that language exists all sorts of places.
Exactly.
It exists in gestures, eye contact, physicality, graffiti, emojis, all around us.
Yeah.
Walk me through some of the things that most fascinate you about that truth.
So this is a collection of 53 secret languages, but it could be a collection of 5,000 if I had the time and enough paper. We are surrounded by languages, and we often interact with systems that we don't understand. So if you go to a bar, the bartenders have their own slang. If you go to a restaurant, sommeliers have their own slang. We're in a TV
My
studio.
control room has its own slang. We have a whole TV slang about editing and everything else, which is in here.
So we have the hand signals of TV floor managers. Right. So if I get that, I know one thing, and if I get that, I'll speak for longer.
There's one that's unique to me.
Which is? I find that hard to believe.
It's true.
But the joy of this and researching is, it's this notion that everyone communicates in their own language. And if you could walk a mile, and if you could talk a mile in someone else's shoes, you really get to understand them. And Significa is anything. It's almost an exercise in empathy. So I thought I was a pretty good coffee shop customer. I tried to be a good coffee shop customer. There's a section I researched on the language of Starbucks. I'm a much better coffee shop customer now, because you realize far more. I never worked in a coffee shop, and you realize it's like how to be a better customer. Because put an example, if you're not a good customer, you might get the decaf surprise. Right. The decaf surprise is it's like, this coffee has no caffeine in it. So, you know, you realize how to order better. You realize the order they want, and you just realize, like, they've heard that joke 1,000 times. I mean, you know, if your card doesn't register, it's like, well, maybe it's free. You know what? No. Nobody wants to hear that for the 400th time that week. So it's this realization that language and gesture unlock something about the reality of life. So there's a section on the language of graffiti writers. I now see, in London and New York, I see graffiti in a completely different way. I understand the hierarchy, I understand how difficult it was, I understand the placement. Graffiti is like a private, street art is designed to impress us. Murals, graffiti is a private conversation between graffiti writers, and we just ignore it. And you can kind of overhear it once you begin to see the same names popping up and the same styles, and you understand what was done in a hurry, what took a lot of time. It's an amazing unlock.
We love politics on this show. You have sanitized political language and meanings and language, but you also have either radicalized or revolutionary kind of political symbolism, language, and the like.
Absolutely. So everything from QAnon all the way to V for Victory and the anarchist symbol, the alphabet of political protest. But there's also a selection on the political hand signals and gestures. So, you know, Angela Merkel famously has the Merkel rhombus, but it's the way she could sort of stand and sort of hold herself.
Self-balance herself.
Self-balance, but also that became the Merkel rhombus became the symbol of her party, just that shape became the symbol. And then also you have what used to be called the Clinton thumb, which is now the fist, because pointing in politics is considered aggressive and rude. But if you do this, and the thumb on top of it. And of course, you can do this. If you want to be a bit more congenial, there's this. There's the horizontal fist. And you realize we're surrounded by, Tony Blair famously, the difference between this and this. If you wanted to, this was to define it and this was to, bring it in. And once you start unpicking it and you realize there are structures and hidden codes in everything.